All right, I'm really happy to be joined now by Jen Leinart. Jen runs Costmine, which is part of our family at Glacier Resource Innovation Group. Jennifer has over 40 years of experience in the mining industry, from exploration through development and mine operations. She's a specialist in cost and resource estimating and economic analysis. Starting out in the team that developed the Red Dog mine in Alaska after it was discovered in the 1980s. She's also worked on projects ranging from metals to coal and diamonds to garnets in North American and in international locations. She brings a wealth of experience to her role, driving and leading the fantastic Costmine team out of Spokane, Washington, USA. It's a fantastic product and service. And Jen, wonderful for you to join us at the Global Mining Symposium. How are you today?
I'm great, thank you. And thank you for that introduction. That's awfully kind of you. So we are cost estimators, and we help people develop their mines. And that's
pretty important service. And as we're now ramping into, we know the critical issue in the industry. It's a nice position to be in when there's not enough of the metal that everyone wants, but it does mean we're going to have massive ramp up in production and exploration, this whole thing. And if you're not cost estimating, you're going to be in a little bit of trouble. So we want to come to that and get a better understanding of exactly what Costmine offers. But I thought we'd start off. You have an interesting new client that just came on board with Costmine. Why don't you tell us about who that is and what the nature of this relationship is looking like going forward?
Okay, well, we are doing a project for the World Bank right now. And it really comes down to the transition from the green energy to green energy from some of the older methods of producing energy, and particularly in third world countries. So what we're doing is we're doing a series of cost estimating tools for the World Bank to help them determine what it's going to cost to close and reclaim hundreds and hundreds of coal mines across the world. And the really interesting part about it is some of these mines have operated for literally decades, and no reclamation has been done. And so this is really a cleaning up of the processes that have happened in the past. And we also provide, a reclamation cost tool to the BLM, to the Bureau of Land Management. So we're experts in reclamation costs and can help with those, as well as development costs.
Excellent stuff. I mean, it's good to highlight World Bank and BLM. I mean, it speaks to the quality of the product, but you also have a range of clients in the mining sector itself. At what stage, though, in the development or exploration process, even, I don't know, at what stage do you recommend that a company should be coming to Costmine and looking at your data sets?
Well, basically as early as possible. One of the things that I find, and Ken pointed this out earlier, talking to the geology team, they become emotionally attached to projects oftentimes and don't put numbers around them. And so one of the things that we find is if you think you've got your exploration model, about what size, because you've done some great drilling, about what size your potential resource is and roughly what the grade is going to be, now's the time to start putting some numbers around that. And we can do that at a very preliminary stage, scoping stage, PEA stage. And quite honestly, these things can be refined and moved through, but it's a quick way to identify a project that really doesn't have any legs. And why spend more money on a project that just doesn't have the capacity to be what you need it to be and to be economic. Quite frankly, it's not worth going through all the permitting brain damage if your project is not up to snuff. So we suggest that you start putting numbers around it early on in scoping. And we produce models, we produce data, We collect all the equipment data. McKinsey actually uses our data. And these are the things that are, you know, can give the board confidence, give your shareholders confidence that what you're doing is going to be economic and going to move forward.
Excellent stuff. And I should say, you know, wherever you speak, when you speak of geologists sometimes falling too in love with their project, you are a geologist.
I am.
We have some mining engineers on the staff as well for Costmine, a couple. Right. So we have the full gamut represented there. There's always that internal friendly jostling between mining engineers and geologists in the industry.
Exactly. I have been guilty of being very attached to a project, but that's one of the reasons why I became a cost estimator, because I wanted to know how reasonable and how good my project was. And I've been doing this since the mid 80s. So this is something that we can help, and you know, at a pretty preliminary state. By the time you've gotten to feasibility, and you have gone down the wrong path, it's almost too late, and you've dumped a lot of money. We've seen so many failed projects that could have benefited from early cost estimating. And all this can be refined. It's not the be all end all. It's a progressional thing.
Such a critical point, Jen, such a critical point. Why don't we don't have a heck of a lot of time, but can you kind of quickly take us under the hood a little bit and show us how a company can get a sense of the economics of a project, maybe before, to your point, they're too far down that road?
Okay, so first of all, when you're trying to do a cost estimate, one of the first things you have to understand is how many, you know, what size is your project going to be? How much material are you actually going to move? And to do that, you can either go through a lot of process of matching equipment and this type of thing, but we provide tools that will select equipment based on your production rate, based on your stripping ratio or your underground mining method. And then it'll apply, it will calculate how many trucks, shovels, LHDs that you need to accomplish that task. From there, you can actually calculate the amount of fuel. You can calculate the number of people that you need. And our numbers, our manual mining cost service, allows you to actually get those numbers on a budgetary level early and quickly. So we survey mining companies for their labor rates. We calculate the electric power consumptions on equipment and fuel and diesel and that type of thing. And then we basically provide you with a manual or a guide to be able to do your own cost estimate, or we can help you with that. So we do consulting as well. And that's, so all of our products, and they're on costmine.com. All of our products are researched and gathered by our people. It is not something that we're just guessing. There's no guessing. We are actually talking to suppliers and to mining companies, and that's what we compile.
Yeah, well, you're not around as a product and a service since the 1980s. If you're doing any guessing, this is a very powerful brand because of the quality of the data and the quality of the team. And to break it down a bit for our viewers here, you have the mining cost services, but it can get very specialized. So you have a module for surface mines, for underground mines, for mineral processing. Maybe break out a little bit of I mean, I've touched upon them, but there are some other ones there as well. And also if you can maybe update our audience, because there's been some great advancements in the last year or so in terms of how that data is now being delivered to people.
Right. So we have an online portal that allows all people to access the data in a real-time manner. So we upload the sections, we do the research, we upload, say, equipment costs at a certain time of the year, or labor costs for Canada, this type of thing. But we also have an extensive equipment database, and that equipment database allows you to select your fleet of equipment, put in your operating parameters, say your diesel, fuel, electric power, labor costs, and then it will calculate how much an hour that piece of equipment is going to cost you to operate. So not only do you have the capital cost there for your CapEx, but you have a basis for your operating costs. So that's one area, and that's an online tool. It's available. on a subscription rate. We also have software, and that software is as Anthony alluded to, very few parameters are needed to get we would call it almost a back of the envelope calculation for the early entry scoping level study. But then the software is designed such that you can get extremely detailed, and you can do multiple modules that allow you to mine in different areas at different mining rates. So these can be as simple as the data allows, or very complex as the data allows. And we're transitioning all of our software to the web. We've done it with Reclamation Cost Estimator. It's a beautiful tool. It helps people determine what is the cost to recontour, to cap, to demolish buildings, all those things that are involved with reclamation.
Yeah, it's a very, very, very powerful tool, and it points to how information will continue to be served up through all of the mining cost services. Also, a nice development that now the people that subscribe to mining cost services, it's available as an app now.
Yes, we have an app. We have an Android or Apple app. And so literally you can take mining cost service or mining mill equipment or the labor reports, or any of those publications, gold heap leach, you name it. You can download it to your phone or your tablet, and you can take it with you. So it makes it extremely efficient. Our books weigh, I don't know about kilos, but I do know that if you stack all of our books in one place, we're talking about 12 kilos or 25 pounds, somewhere in that range.
Hard to carry around with you at the mine site, whereas a phone or a tablet has a little bit of an advantage that way.
Yes. So we're pretty pleased with that. That happened this summer. So.
Yeah, that's an exciting launch. Absolutely. Well, it's fantastic. Listen, we never want to be accused of only identifying issues in the industry at the Global Mining Symposium. We also want to present solutions. So I don't know, Jen, it's earlier in Spokane, but we kicked off the day. We had Jake Klein, the chairman and the founder of Evolution Mining, who of course is going hard at Red Lake as well as their 4 Australian assets. And he, Trish asked him secrets to success kind of question, and he was, this is the perfect combi. He's basically like, the problem with mining is, it's not about just going out and being bigger and grabbing more. It's about looking at your margins. And to look at your margins, you need to look at your costs, and you need to know what you're getting into very early on. He's an accountant by training, so he has that discipline. But his message to everyone was, industry-wide, we need this kind of margin cost discipline. So here we are. Costmine. Here is a tool that our audience and those of you who are running mining companies, even if you're early stage, listen, we just presented to you. You do with it what you want, but there it is. We can't say we didn't present you with the opportunity.
Right. And anytime you want to shoot me an email, someone will pick up on info@costmine.com. No problem. We're on the web. You can give us a call. We actually answer the phone. So
there's a novel idea. There's not enough of that these days, is there?
So we're more than happy to help. And we work with small miners as well as very large miners, and as well as suppliers. So that is a really fun part of our job, is that we have a very broad reach. We don't care what the commodity is. We will work with you.
Fantastic stuff. Jen, thank you so much for taking some time and for filling us in. It's amazing work that you and the team are doing over there. It's a fantastic product. I think Laura just posted the link in the chat. So if anyone is interested, and you should be, click on the link and get in touch with Jen. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Bye, Jen.
Bye-bye.